Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with the Pacific situation is well in hand, showing a map of the entire Pacific situation as of August 1944. We're now on to the Reds close in on East Prussia. August 5th, 1944. Germany itself is threatened. On Saturday, August 5th, the Russians were about to move on to the holy soil of the fatherland itself. In fact, the Berlin radio repeated that the Red Army had already crossed the border. In the picture at the top, machine gunners are shown in action on the frontier of East Prussia. Now you can see they're using Maxim guns. Pretty neat. And then below, other machine gunners of the Soviet are fording a river. And you can see them moving up on this river, and you see more of their machine guns. Yeah, Germany is realizing really quick they're not gonna survive. A lot of Germans, they were still kind of thinking, oh, we'll hold them at some point, we'll hold them. But there's no holding this. They are coming, and they're going to obliterate you. Not much you can do about it. The French take care of their own. August 9th, 1944. He discovers that he likes the Allies. Cornered by patriots who hunted down the traitors in their midst, when the Allies reached the town of Rennes, this collaborator sinks to his knees in partial payment for his sins. As members of the Maquis, the French underground organization forced him to kneel and shout his praises of the Allies. The Nazis' retreat in France was just what the Maquis had been waiting for. One out from the hills and hiding places they came, pouncing upon the luckless garrisons and nipping at the retreating columns of troops, as well as taking care of the people who had aided the Nazis during the occupation. According to some reports, Vichy was a city besieged by French patriots. Laval could not get to his country chateau for fear of ambush by the Maquis. Yeah, and you can see, like they said, he's praising. And while, yes, I do think that obviously some of these people are pretty wrong for helping the Nazis, to a degree, you can understand why. And their mindset, now, yes, maybe some of them just kind of agreed with them, you know. It's always possible. Another possibility, though, too, is that some of these people, it's like, it's either this or I die. And I'd rather not die. So I have to do what's best for me and my family, even if that means turning my back on my country. You can see both scenarios here, and I understand both. So, but just because you understand both doesn't mean that you have to accept both. Guam returns to the United States. August 10th, 1944. The conquest is completed. A Marine howitzer, one of the first to be brought ashore, blasts enemy positions in the battle for Guam. The first American base to be taken by the Japanese, and the first to be recovered after a campaign of 3 weeks in which the Japanese lost thousands of men and much equipment. Meanwhile, the neighboring island of Tinian, much smaller than Guam, had been conquered. Yeah, so obviously the United States gets Guam back. And I'm sure for the Japanese, it just feels like everything's collapsing. Just like the Germans, it just seems like it's this never-ending collapse of just everywhere you're holding. It's probably honestly kind of a scary thought to a degree, because you're like, oh gods, we're gonna lose. Action at the base of the Normandy Peninsula. August 10th, 1944. A key point on the road to Paris, falls. The mammoth display of pyrotechnics in the picture at the top is the real thing. Exploding shells leave trails of smoke and flame when a German ammunition dump just outside of Filly explodes after a heavy British raid. Below, Canadian sappers search for mines along the grass border lining the streets after they had entered the town. Yeah, you can see right here. Look at all this. Look at all the smoke and just explosions. Crazy. It's crazy because we don't really, like, a lot of times we see movies, and sometimes they are exaggerated, but when you see the real thing, sometimes the movies are just not quite as spectacular, you would say. It's interesting. And then, and here you can see, like they said, the sappers, they're looking for mines. They've got what I'm assuming is a metal detector. It looks like it. The Americans returned to the port of Brest. August 12th, 1944. Most important goal in Brittany. As smoke from gunfire fills the air, 2 Allied soldiers move up on the double through a shell-wrecked street in Brest during the 6 weeks that the battle for this important port lasted. In the lower picture, a much more tranquil procession moves back the other way as Allied soldiers search their catch of German prisoners to the rear for questioning. German forces in Brest did not completely capitulate until weeks later. Yeah, so while the Russians are collapsing in on the east, obviously, and they're moving real quick, the Allies are moving as fast as they can, which is not as fast, really, through France to recapture that. So they captured Normandy, they're capturing Brittany, and they're moving even more to get other parts of France as well. Through the wheat fields of the Ukraine. August 1944. The Reds pushed the Nazis back. As August opened, the Germans were drawing in and concentrating their forces not only in France, but also in other parts of Europe, and had shifted 16 divisions in an effort to halt the Red Tide. And these pictures top, Red Army men are shown with their semi-automatic tank rifle. Also, if this is the rifle I think it is, while this is, yes, used to stop tanks, it is also used as a sniper rifle, which is just horrifying. That's all I gotta say to that. And then below, tank men and Tommy gunners in action in a Ukraine wheat field. So you can see here, got the tanks, got the Tommies, and just another example of like American-made products here with the Soviets. They got Tommy guns quite rampantly. There was a lot of American equipment here. They don't talk about it as much. I believe there were some Shermans in the Soviet Union at this point. So, yeah, a little bit of everything over there. And over there lies France. August 14th, 1944. Invasion Armada. Every type of craft imaginable is represented here in this huge fleet of ships assembled at a port in southern Italy in preparation for the invasion of southern France. The invasion took place the following day when thousands of Allied troops hit the shores of what had been the playground for the wealthy, the French Riviera. So yeah, you can just see, look at all those ships. It's just absurd. And yeah, so obviously we always talk about the landings in Normandy, the invasion at Normandy. But the invasion in southern France is also a large invasion. It's not as large as Normandy, but it is still one of the largest. And just looking at the Armada, you can kind of tell that's the case. But with that, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I can improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.